Hi everyone, I'm Sustainable Sam. Thanks for joining me. We're here in the barn in the bee room, as you can see, where we keep all of our bee equipment for managing the hives. Today I want to talk real quick, just for a couple minutes, about the Asian giant hornet, the murder hornet. I had a few of my friends ask me some questions about it, and I realized that I knew a little bit, but not a whole lot. And I'm very new to beekeeping. This is my first year working with my mom and her partner to kind of manage the few hives here at home. So, not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I have worked in agriculture for a number of years, and I am familiar around bees. Having them in the garden and managing pollinator gardens. So. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, but I will try to give as much good information as I can, because I want you to make kind of informed decisions about managing your hives, and also like kind of realizing like what the potential threats are for this new invasive species that's coming. So if you haven't seen it yet, the Asian giant hornet, or murder hornet, the Vespa mandarinia, I believe is the species. Is a very, very large hornet with like nasty jaws on it. Stings multiple times. The stinger itself is really long, so like bee suits wouldn't protect you. It'd go right through that. And the sting is very nasty. The venom is very toxic, and they do kill, on average, about 50 people in Japan every year. So to kind of put that in perspective, we have about, on average here in the United States, we have about 60 insect related deaths. So spread out over bees and hornets, and wasps, we have about 60 each year. But in Japan, this murder hornet kills about 50. So it is a pretty serious threat that we need to consider here. The concern is that they can devastate a European beehive very quickly. Just a few of these hornets can go in and they can kill 10,000 bees in just a couple hours. They can wipe out an entire colony very easily. So the concern is that they're going to impact our honey production and our pollination industries here in the States. So, and it's unfortunate because the European honeybees do not have a really good defense mechanism against a threat like this. The Japanese honeybee, let's see if I can find the name of these so you can look it up. The Apis cerana japonica. They've evolved alongside this hornet, so they've developed a kind of a learned behavior of swarming the hornet, vibrating their bodies, and creating. Basically, they cook the hornet, and the Japanese honeybee can survive at higher temperatures than the hornet can, so they can raise that temperature and kind of in that middle ground, and kill the hornet without harming the bees. Now, the honeybee from Europe, the European honeybees, the Apis mellifera that most people in America have, they have a similar mechanic. So there are bees within a hive. They're called heater bees, and what they do is they vibrate their bodies to generate heat and keep the hive warm during winter. The problem is, and this is where it gets a little fuzzy, because I'm not exactly sure what the temperature thresholds are for European honeybees, but I know that they prefer temperatures around 95 degrees. And they can go, up and down that a little bit, but that's where their comfort zone is. I don't know if they can generate temperatures high enough to kill the giant hornet, which I believe is like 115, 116, something like that. The other concern is that the honeybees, European honeybees, their honey and their hives can't tolerate those types of temperatures. So after about 105, 110 degrees, the propolis starts breaking down, as do the enzymes and antibacterial and antioxidant properties of honey. They lose their pollen, and then it also does damage to their larvae. So if this type of fight took place within the hive, there's a really good chance that these bees might be able to defeat the hornet, but they would do a lot of damage to their home in the process. So that's a really bad thing. So that's kind of something to consider. And it would be something that these hives would have to learn over time and adapt to, fighting off these hornets, which maybe they don't have to. Maybe they won't have to, because What's nice is these hornets are really big. They're 1.5 to 2 inches long, probably about 3/4 of an inch thick. They're fairly large. A honeybee is only about 1/2 inch long, maybe 3/4. The queen is going to be close to 3/4, maybe a little bit over, but she doesn't leave the hive. So the entrances might be the key to preventing these hornets from affecting the hives, making sure that the entrances are small enough so that way honeybees can freely move back and forth, but the hornets cannot. And then making sure that if we do have to, change the culturing of managing honeybees, the culture of managing honeybees, then those entrances might have to get a little bit smaller. We might have to create more of them because even during the summer, bees need to be able to moderate the temperature, especially in southern states where temperatures are going to break that 95-degree threshold. They need to be able to exchange air. They kind of use basically a really rudimentary air conditioning method to cool the hive. So we want to make sure that they're able to still maintain temperature and keep the hive clean, but keeping those entrances small enough so this hornet can't come in. So hopefully it won't be a big deal. And also hopefully we'll be able to kind of manage them in the few places that they've found already. They're currently limited to the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, and British Columbia. And hopefully that's where they'll stay. All right. Thanks a lot for joining me. Catch you next time.